right, so we are in section 2, so chapter 2.2. Just a quick review from last section in 2.1. We were talking about the vertex form of a quadratic. So the vertex form is given by f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So that was the form that we were working on last section. This section we're looking at what's called the standard form of a quadratic equation. And the standard form looks like this. F of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And if you remember in the last unit, we did take this vertex form and we converted it to standard form. So now we're starting with the standard form, and in this lesson we're going to learn how to find the vertex of this parabola and then how to graph this parabola given just the standard form. So this is still a quadratic. These are equivalent. These two forms, vertex and standard form, they make the same U-shaped curve. They make that same parabola, okay? So a couple things to note here. So let's look at this example here, x squared plus 2x minus 5. If you're looking at that a, so the a, the number in front of the x squared, that tells you, this a tells you if it's going to open up or down. So if the U shape will open up or down. So the a in this example, there's nothing written there, so we'll assume it's a 1. So the a would be 1 in here, and it's positive. So that tells me that this parabola is going to open up. Here, the a is negative, or -1, and that will tell me that this parabola is going to open down. So positive, open up, negative, open down. And a way to remember that, positive gives the happy face opening up, negative makes that frowny face or sad face opening down. All right, so let's move on here. Axis of symmetry. So just quick review, let's go back up to vertex form. Axis of symmetry is given by x equals h in the vertex form. So whatever this value is here, that's your axis of symmetry. Down for standard form down here, it's a little more complicated, but not anything we can't handle. So that's x equals negative b over 2 times a. And when I'm saying b and a, I'm getting those values from my standard form here. The a would be the number in front of the x squared, and the b is the number in front of the x. And so this is my axis of symmetry. This is also the value of h in our vertex. This is the h in our vertex. So remember, vertex is hk. So if you do negative b divided by 2a, you find that first x coordinate in your vertex, and that's also the axis of symmetry formula. All right, let's go ahead and turn the page here. We're gonna get into our first learning target. First learning target, I can find the vertex of a quadratic function in standard form. I can find the vertex of a quadratic in standard form. So remember, standard form here is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, okay? So in our problem here, our a would be 1, our b would be -6, and then the c would be 10. So when you're trying to find the vertex, here's your success criteria. Step 1 is to identify the a, b, and c. So we said a is 1, b is -6, and c is 10. So now that we know what a, b, and c are, now we can find h. So h is given by that axis of symmetry formula, so the -b divided by 2 times a. So you're going to take negative, so you start your formula with a negative, and then you're to find the b, so b is -6. So I have -6, and then divided by 2 times a, which is 1. That 2 is just part of the formula. It's always a 2 there. And then we'll go simplify here. A negative times a negative is a positive, and then 2 times 1 is 2, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the value of h is 3. And we're trying to find the vertex, remember? So the vertex is the point HK. So we have H, now we need to find K. So that's step 3. We're gonna find K by plugging in the value of H in for X. So I start with my original equation given up here. So the x squared minus 6x plus 10. And then I'm going to take the 3 and I'm going to plug it in. Take this 3 and plug it in for the x there. So then I have 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 10. So 3 squared is 9, and then minus 6 times 3 is 18, and then plus 10, which simplified down to be -9 plus 10, so 1. So I have h is 3, and k is 1. So I'll put that all together to find the vertex. That would be 3, 1, and that's the answer there. All right, pause the video and you try B on your own. Try this problem on your own. All right, let's check it. So first, step 1, I'm gonna find A, B, and C. So A is 1, B is -8, and C is 5. All right, then I'm going to find the H. So I'm going to do -b over 2a. So negative, and then plug in b, -8, divided by 2 times a, 2 times 1. And I'll simplify that, and I get 4. So H is 4. Now to find K, I'm going to start with my equation up here. And then I'm going to plug in 4. Take my 4 and plug it in for the x's there. And simplify it. And I get -11. So H is 4 and K is -11. So answer, my vertex is 4, -11. H, K. Okay. Let's go to the next page. We're going to go on to our next learning target here. I can graph a quadratic equation in standard form. So we just found the vertex. Now we're going to graph the whole thing. So finding the vertex is actually the first step in graphing. So here's our quadratic there given to us. So to find the vertex, we first want to identify A, B, and C. A, B, C. And then we're going to plug it in to find H. Remember, H is negative B over 2A. So that's going to be negative 4 over 2 times 1. Negative, negative, make a positive. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So H is 2. Now I need to find the K. Okay, so K equals, I'm going to take my 2 and plug it in for each X here. So 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 8. That would be 4 minus 8 plus 8, which is 4. So there's my vertex. 2, 4. All right, so I've got my vertex 2, 4. So I'm going to go down here and graph that 2, 4. Starting at the origin, go right 2, up 4. And there's your vertex. Now from the vertex, I can find my axis of symmetry. That's right down that point there. And this is x equals 2. That's my axis of symmetry. X equals 2. Okay, so I found my vertex 2, 4, and I found my axis of symmetry. X equals 2. Step 2, so that was step 1, just finding the vertex and the axis of symmetry. Now I need to find the Y-intercept. The Y-intercept is where the parabola crosses the y-axis. Where the parabola crosses the y-axis. So here's the y-axis here. We want to see where it's going to cross over this y-axis. And the way you do that is you substitute 0 for x. So you're going to go back to your original equation. X squared minus 4x plus 8. And I'm going to take 0 and plug it in for each x here. So 0 squared minus 4 times 0 plus 8. Then I'll just simplify that down. 0 squared is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 8 is 8. So y equals 8. So that's the point 0, 8. And that would be my y-intercept. So I'm going to go plot that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my y-intercept at the point 0, 8. Now, because I know my axis of symmetry, I can just reflect this point to the other side. So I go 1, 2, 1, 2. And then that is the point 4, 8. So that was my step 3. I just found the point 4, 8 by reflecting the y-intercept over. And then lastly, to finish it up, I'm just going to draw my parabola. And ta-da! there you have it. All right, go ahead, pause the video and try on the next page. We're gonna try example B there. So go ahead and graph this one. All right, hopefully you tried that. Let's check your answer. So first you're gonna find the vertex. So we need to know our A, B, and C. A is 1, B is -6, and C is -1. Then from there I can find my vertex. That's -b over 2a to find h. So that's -6 over 2 times 1. So 6 over 2 equals 3. So my h is 3. Then I'll plug that in to my original equation up here for x. So it would be 3 squared minus 6 times 3 minus 1 there. Simplify that down. 3 squared is 9, minus 18 minus 1 is -10. So my vertex is 3, -10. So I'll go over here and plot that. 3, -10. There's my vertex. And that also gives me my axis of symmetry at x equals 3. So axis of symmetry, x equals 3. Now I need to find the y-intercept. So you do that by plugging in 0 for x. So there's my equation, and I'll plug in 0 for x. 0 minus 0 minus 1 is -1. So I'm going to plot the point 0, -1 right there. And then I'm going to reflect it over. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that is the point 6, -1. 6, -1. And then, ta-da, you have your parabola. All right, that concludes your notes. Let's look at the homework real quick. So for your homework, you have this worksheet to do here. I want you to do 1, 3, and 6. You can cross out 4, and you can cross out 5. And now, don't stop the video. I want you to watch just one more. We're going to do 2 together. So let me show you how to do this. So step 1, you're going to find the vertex. So I know my A is 3, my B is 12, and my C is 9 there. So to find the vertex, I'm going to find H first. So that's -b over 2a. So that's -12 over 2 times 3. That would be -12 over 2 times 3 is 6, which gives you -2. So -2 is the H. To find the K, we'll plug it in here. So I'm going to plug in -2 for each X here. So 3 times -2 squared plus 12 times -2 plus 9. And then we'll simplify that down. Now remember to use your order of operations. So start with exponents first. -2 squared, that's the same as saying -2 times -2, which is 4. Copy everything else down. Now I can do my multiplication. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times -2 is -24. Then you get negative 12 plus 9, which is negative 3. Okay, so I have negative 2, negative 3, and that's my vertex. So I can plot that, negative 2, negative 3, and that also gives me my axis of symmetry at x equals negative 2. So step 2, axis of symmetry, x equals negative 2. Now I need to find my y-intercept. So to find the y-intercept, you're going to replace x's with 0. So y equals 3 times 0 squared plus 12 times 0 plus 9. So that's 0 plus 0 plus 9 is 9. So the point is 0, 9. I'll plot that. 0, 9 right there. And then I'll reflect it. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's step 4. My reflection point is negative 4, 9. Then lastly, draw your parabola. And you will need to show each of these steps on your quiz and test. So make sure you know how to work through finding all these parts. The vertex first, then the axis of symmetry, then the y-intercept, then reflect it to find your other point there. All right, so go ahead and do 1, 3, and 6, and then submit your answers.